Hi, I'm Jules Whale, and I run a small life coaching practice in Salisbury. I'm making a series of podcasts, and as part of these podcasts, I'm hoping to just bring glimmers of insights to people, just glimmers of insights into things that you may have thought about in the past and didn't really know how to deal with them, and maybe pack them away again. Something I wanted to talk about today, which I think may be even more relevant in our current situation with the world going bonkers, is about loss, bereavement, um, and that could be loss of person, that could be loss of job, that could be loss of identity, loss of self-esteem, loss of self-respect, loss of confidence. And I think, as I said before, I think that's going to resonate with quite a few people with the way things are going at the moment. But loss is, it's not the end of things as we know it. When we lose somebody, when they've died, that's as final as it gets. And it can be a very uncomplicated process of mourning and coming to terms with how you feel about that. But it can be a very, very complex process. If you've had history with that person of things that aren't so special, you may have been in an abusive relationship, you may have had family problems surrounding that person that's passed. What do you do with that? Because it's enough to be coping with the serene feelings of grieving and mourning. But when you put all that other stuff on top of it, we start to find feelings of shame. We start to find feelings of guilt and regret. And when these are piled on top, life can become pretty hopeless. It can feel pretty hopeless. You could have lost your job. And what do you do now? Lots of people are losing their jobs at the moment. So therefore, you're going home, you've lost your job. With that, you could have lost, as I said, your self-esteem, your self-respect, money, your identity. Now, we can either sit still and let things roll over us. We can package it tightly and move on, or we can create something of change, something that we want to do about it. Just to put a little bit of context on this, when my late husband passed away, we'd had a pretty turbulent relationship, and it wasn't a particularly happy one in the last few years. And when he passed away, I was actually left with £100,000 over debt. So I had the loss of my husband, who I, yes, was mourning. But on top of that, I had the loss of actually, who am I? Who was I? Who am I? What could I have done differently? What should I have done? If only. I think "if" for a two-letter word is one of the biggest words in our language. If only. Regret, guilt, shame. Now, we call that actually living above or below the line. And to explain that a little bit further, at that point, I would have been living very much below the line. It's somebody else's fault. Somebody else has made me feel like this. Somebody else has hurt me. Somebody else has caused me to be like this. I am the effect of somebody else's doing. Now bring that forward into today. I could be the effect of the economy. I could be the effect of COVID-19. I could be the effect of a relationship breakup. I could be the effect of all manner of things. But how about I just have a think about that for a moment, and how about I come up with, well, what do I want to cause to happen next? What happens when I stand up and look proud, look tall, look ahead, look to the future? What do I want to happen next? Now, that isn't going to take away the debt. That's not going to take away the loss of job. That's not going to take anything away. But just by thinking differently, what it is going to do, it's going to add something. It's going to add a completely different dimension. Did I like that job that I've lost? Did I like working 70 hours a week? If I did, then presumably I'm going to start looking around for another one that's the same. But did I always want to do something different? Did I always want to maybe be somebody different? Who do I want to be? Now, when we start thinking and get ourselves into the cause box, what do I want to cause to happen next? I'm now above the line. Now we've got that wonderful P word, my favourite P word in the world, possibility. So, okay, after I've done the practical stuff, in my case, phoning the creditors, phoning those people. Okay, my husband's passed away. I've kind of inherited this debt. So this is what I can afford to pay you. So yes, make the practical plans. Yeah, we have to eat. We live. I get that. But after we've done that, we then start to think, what do I want to happen next? So I will start talking a different language now. I will start talking in terms of hope, possibility, opportunity, potential, instead of blame, guilt, shame, regret. Whole different vocabulary. And I say to people, you've got this far. You've come this far. You haven't come this far to only come this far. Now that gives us a whole different set of thinking now. That suddenly changes the perspective. Showing vulnerability. Perhaps it would be the first time in your life that you've shown that vulnerability. Perhaps it's the first time in your life that you've ever said, I can't cope with this. I can't manage this anymore. But by actually expressing vulnerability, vulnerability isn't necessarily an attractive thing. Overcoming vulnerability is massive. So once we've shown our underbelly, we've said, I can't go on like this. I don't want to go on like this. And I've changed my thinking to, I do want to go on. I don't know how to go on, but I know I want to go on. Now we've got something to work with. Now we have something to create. Talking in different terms will give you that optimism. What can I do tomorrow? What can I do today? What would I like to do? And when we say that, just sitting there for a moment quietly saying to ourselves, what would I do tomorrow? What would I do? And there is no guarantee tomorrow is going to come. There's no guarantee for any of us. But the guarantee is that if it does come and we've done something differently, we will get a different outcome. That's a guarantee. So that guarantee could be a positive outcome. That guarantee could be a negative outcome. But now we've got choice. Now we're in control. Now we're in charge of our own minds. What I offer is for people to create possibility, to explore possibility. And I think it's important, especially in today's situation, to say that I don't call it remote working. A lot of people say we're working remotely at the moment. What I say is we're maintaining communication and connection from a distance. That's not the same as being remote. None of us is remote. We can choose to be remote, but we can choose to be in touch. So I would reach out and say to anybody that's struggling, talk to somebody, talk to yourself. What do you want to happen next? Once you've thought about the next step, and that can be a baby step. The baby step could be, I don't want to be feeling like this tomorrow. The baby step could be, I'm fed up with the way I am. I'm going to take one step forward, just one. And I'm going to start thinking differently. And I say to people when they come to me, what would happen if you got up in the morning and changed your set of thinking? What would happen? One lady said to me, I don't know. I've never done it. I said, well, try it. Just try it. So I would like to offer words of reassurance, I guess, that however low you're feeling, however bad you're feeling at the time, if you want something different, and if you want it enough, then it's possible. And I would like to just finish by saying, embrace possibility. And to be comfortable can be a sticking point. I like to use the word get discomfortable because I think discomfortable sounds nice. Get discomfortable, get out of that comfort zone and find the opportunity.